Today marks the 5th day of our group practice together. There are still 2 days left. Throughout this process, everyone has been working very hard. This time, participating in such an event, special occasion, the 20th anniversary of the parinirvana of His Holiness, Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche, is indeed a truly, truly unique and special day. Whether it's this kind of Dharma assembly or group practice, it's not easy at all, and it's especially auspicious. I think everyone present here should be filled with great joy and Dharma happiness. Because from the very beginning, there was this profound arrangement to give everyone a comprehensive teaching on Guru Yoga, or to talk about the significant merits of generating bodhicitta. But later, because the weather wasn't very good and it was a bit cold, we temporarily cancelled it. However, today, since it's warmed up a bit, we have arranged for everyone to have a teaching session. Of course, regarding our scheduled time, it won't take up too long. Everyone has been practicing together continuously and is quite tired. And tomorrow morning, you will still have to continue with your practicing session. So if I take up too much time by myself, that wouldn't be very reasonable either. The main thing is that I just want to share some simple principles with everyone here. Just to briefly talk about a few fundamental teachings. Of course, the audience here is quite varied. Some of you have been studying Buddhism for many, many years and have consequently attained a high level of spiritual practice, having practiced for a considerably long time. There are also a few individuals who are indeed relatively new to the practice, just having entered the Buddhist path. So, at their special request, tonight we will also do a refuge ceremony for everyone present. Judging from this request, some people are not practitioners who have been studying from the beginning. There are such specific cases that occur. In any case, what I want to say today is this. I suppose I've been teaching the Dharma for nearly 40 years, whether it's called giving Dharma talks to everyone, or as they say, wearing out my lips. I've been talking about this and that to you all the way up to now. I guess you could say I'm in my later years now. As for how much time is left, no one can really say. Your own lifespans are also impermanent, which everyone should be aware of. So this time now then, everyone being able to participate in such a particularly rare and precious opportunity to practice Guru Yoga and Guru offering is truly a remarkably rare chance, one that is extremely difficult to come by, even across hundreds of millions of eons. We say in the Tantras, even if someone practices 100,000 deity yogas over countless eons, it is not as supreme as recalling the Guru for even a single instant. Some people spend millions of eons practicing 100,000 yidams, but still cannot compare to even a single instant of recalling the Guru's extraordinary qualities. Reciting mantras and performing practices millions of times is not as supreme as praying to the Guru just once. Even if one recites mantras or prayers millions of times, it is not as meritorious as praying to the Guru once. The Guru's merit is the most supreme of all. So I think if we reason according to the sacred tantras, then we can understand everyone has been diligently practicing day and night, dedicating themselves wholeheartedly for such an extended period. This is truly a rare and exceptional opportunity. Of course, in the process of seeking Dharma, many people may have experienced quite a lot of hardships. That is to say, everyone in the process of seeking the Dharma will have such truly remarkable stories. Some people, perhaps by various means, have walked on foot for more than 10 hours. Some went by car, some rode motorcycles, some climbed mountains, and some even crawled through unsanitary sewage pipes. And some even crossed the iron-encircling mountain and barbed wire fences. Some also went through forests riding horses or walking. Some have spent money traveling to a place with the intention of seeking the Dharma, specifically paying thousands or even tens of thousands of their currency. Through various means, everyone endeavors to obtain the true Dharma. This has indeed happened in our collective history before, and it still very much exists and continues to influence our present-day lives and experiences. However, these things for the sake of spiritual practice and to receive the blessings of the Guru are, in a sense, truly worthwhile. We spend our days indulging in meaningless pleasures and also endure countless hardships in the world, all for the sake of relationships and reputation, for worldly fame and material gain, which are truly just the 8 worldly concerns. From beginningless time until now, this has been the case. We have given up many of our most precious and valuable things and have abandoned quite a lot. So from this perspective of value, to seek the true Dharma, it is truly worthwhile to undertake some austerities. Such austerities, when compared to those of the great masters and accomplished practitioners of the past, compared to the experiences of those predecessors in their pursuit of the Dharma, perhaps we are still not comparable to them. In fact, there's no comparison at all. So, after everyone's dedicated efforts in various ways, if we finally manage to obtain something truly so rare and exceptionally difficult to get, we naturally feel that it is indeed very precious. This is also the case in the world. Only things that are really rare indeed have value. So I think when we first started, all of us, including this particular group practice session, it almost got cancelled as well, even though we are all coming together to recite, to always pray and to remember and to recall the image of an elder from 20 years ago. In actual fact, there is absolutely nothing to be truly afraid of, nor is there anything particularly stressful at all. But sometimes the causes and conditions are all kinds of different things. So during this special and unique time in the depths of winter, everything around us so easily turns to solid ice. Even our own snot or saliva, when it falls to the ground, can very likely and quite easily turn into a completely clear, solid block of ice. In such challenging times, we are still living on. We can still breathe, we can still recite sacred mantras. This is also a very fortunate thing. So I think for all of us gathered here, perhaps these past few days have been rather tiring. Everyone has been chanting from morning till night, but on the other hand, it's not really that hard. When we usually hold a Dharma assembly, for example, reciting the transmission of the Tripitaka, or some blessing ceremonies in the Han region. As for certain Dharma assemblies in Tibetan areas, they often start as early as 4 or 5 in the morning, and participants only get to rest around 10 o'clock at night. So, generally speaking, a week-long group practice session like this might feel especially exhausting for some people. It's too tiring. They've already collapsed on the ground and can't even stand up anymore. Indeed, some people may not be in good physical condition. Plus, there's the effect of high altitude, and perhaps their personal immunity is relatively weak as well. Even more importantly, if your mental strength is not truly strong, it may lead to various potential obstacles. But if our mind is strong and our body is at least somewhat capable, then this kind of group practice that you're doing now actually isn't the most difficult thing at all. From some of my personal experiences, there were indeed times when there was absolutely nowhere to stay, nothing to eat, nothing to drink, and nothing to cover yourself with. If we practice asceticism under such conditions, it really is quite difficult. Other great monks and masters, whether they were giving teachings or bestowing empowerments, they didn't even have a tent to stay in. They had to carry everything themselves. As for food, they would just bring a little tsampa with them, buy a bit of food. And aside from that, there was nothing else. There were no organizations or requirements of any kind. After arriving there, everything had to be handled by oneself. So compared to those situations, if we look at our circumstances here, we should say that over the years, whether it's the service training provided to everyone or the concept of service itself, even though here, all the staff and volunteers who act out of good intentions, everything that they do may not necessarily satisfy everyone, especially those who are particularly picky or prone to holding incorrect views. For these specific people, what they see most often is the faults and shortcomings. What they notice most is the flaws, not the excellence here. And the manifestations of practicing bodhicitta may not be apparent to them, but no matter what, this time it really hasn't been easy for us to have such a precious festival like this. where everyone has the opportunity to practice together. We push ourselves to be able to stay here, to have food to eat. Of course, some of you may be used to better conditions, and at home, your living situation is probably not like this, with so many people sleeping together, all kinds of people sharing the same sleeping space. And when it comes to meals, it's the same every day. Those who are used to better conditions probably have it much better than this. But for some people, if it's for the sake of ascetic practice, then it is truly worth accepting and embracing. So at this particular moment in time, I also humbly represent all the esteemed monastics who are present here today, as well as the esteemed laymen, laywomen, and all the practitioners, including some of the newest devotees who have just recently arrived here, representing each one of them to especially thank all those individuals who do those volunteer service work and provided for everyone, whether it's essential food supplies, accommodation, robust security at the main gate, or all kinds of external sanitation work. Maybe you aren't even aware of this because you've already gotten used to it. You just reach out and there's food, reach out and there's clothing. Since you were young, you've grown up in the warm embrace of your parents. So perhaps you don't fully realize that actually to hold such a Dharma assembly, we don't have any official or especially public formal support, early and thorough preparations for such a suitable venue and environment. If we didn't have this, many of our Dharma friends would unfortunately have to act like thieves, sneaking around in secret over there. So it's really not easy for them to serve everyone. Therefore, they are people too, and it's just as cold for them in winter. And they also experience altitude sickness, yet they still give it their all. Whether it's actively protecting us when we are outside, arranging things for us such as food, accommodation, including all the essential services provided to everyone, they may not be able to satisfy you 100%, but at the very least everyone should know that they are doing their best. Everything that they do is to serve everyone, all for the sake of every person here at such an auspicious moment. They would rather put down all their own recitations and practice, just so you can truly practice here in complete comfort and absolute peace. Regarding this particular point, I think that although I personally did not have the merit to participate this time from far away, I still have a basic understanding of the situation. So I truly especially rejoice in the very dedication of our volunteers here. Actually, this is not easy at all. As everyone knows, generally speaking, even organizing a group of 100 or just 10 people requires all kinds of preparations behind the scenes. Many of us have organized group practices for about 20 people, lasting 3 or 4 days. And there are always meals, drinks, and all the daily necessities to take care of, with all sorts of situations arising. But with the blessings of the three jewels and with the efforts of all our Dharma friends in various aspects, our group practice is now coming to an end. During this process, everyone has worked very hard. That's why I just expressed my gratitude to all our volunteers here, the Khenpos and Khenmos. And also, in a broader sense, many people have truly done a very great deal of work for us all here. If they hadn't done so, even this group practice would have been difficult to complete. In fact, many people, perhaps you don't know, have been bearing pressure, even more pressure than those of you who may have come here alone. The immense pressure they bear is even greater. They have been shouldering significant pressure in various ways. This time, everyone has truly come together for this special group practice in heartfelt remembrance of our most precious Guru. This time it can be considered complete. I sincerely hope that in tomorrow's and the day after's group practices we all perform very well. If you have time, you will continue to complete the practice. Because earlier, about 60 to 70% has already been completed. There's just a little bit left. So in the process of practice, everyone must truly cherish it very much. I've also noticed that most of the people here, maybe 80 to 90% of you, truly cherish this opportunity. Everyone is making a special effort to recite, practice, and pray. But there are also some individuals who, perhaps due to their own particular habits or afflictions, that even when they've come to such a sacred place, still don't practice properly, including their sense of time. They don't really have a good concept of it either. And during the process of practice, sometimes maybe they're too tired or it's altitude sickness. I don't know, but they don't recite or practice very earnestly either. They just keep sleeping, lying down, leaning back, always like that. In the end, although everyone is the same as a person, the results and achievements in practice may still be different. So in this situation, I think everyone should, in these last few days, I hope that each and every one of you will do your best to make aspirations sincerely every single day and dedicate the merits properly every day. Whether there will be such an opportunity in the future is hard to say. You can almost judge for yourself. Just think about it in this way. This is also a fundamental principle of contemplating impermanence. Maybe this is the last time I can participate in this group practice. Thinking this way is actually a bit better. Maybe it really is. Given all the restrictions in our environment, both inside and out, and looking at all the various conditions, in the future, Buddhism may potentially, including some large-scale events, empowerments, and Dharma transmissions, these may not necessarily be particularly convenient. Perhaps things will become more and more restricted, or perhaps they will become more and more open, with the doors opening wider and wider. But this is also hard to say. All kinds of conditions are uncertain. Since things are uncertain, I often tell all our fellow Dharma friends who live here with us, when you are here in your daily life, on one hand, come with a mind that seeks the Dharma and stay here for a period of time. But on the other hand, you should always be prepared so that once you have to leave here, you are ready with a place of your own to stay. This is not unreasonable at all. As a practitioner, if you are not successful in your practice here, where will you go back to? If you have to look for a place at that time, especially for some monastics, it can be very difficult to find one. I often tell them this as well. So you should also think about this yourselves. This time, relying on the blessings of the Guru and the three jewels. In such a sacred place as Larung, where so many Sangha members can practice together, it's a truly wonderful opportunity for everyone to make aspirations together. If this time happens to be the last Dharma assembly of my life, I would still feel completely content and satisfied. I will sincerely pray to His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche and make strong aspirations. Even if there are no more opportunities in the future than in this very life, I should truly say that I feel a profound sense of fulfillment. This is something every one of us practitioners should also consider. Maybe you think this isn't necessary, that you'll come many more times in the future, and that there will be plenty of opportunities everywhere later on. Perhaps that's the case. I don't have supernatural powers or the ability to give prophecies, but it's important to observe conditions from all aspects. If we look at the conditions, then in the future we may not have more large-scale events or specific organizations either. In that case, you can practice quietly on your own, at your own pace. Now, we have many Dharma texts available. We also indeed have a lot of various kinds of the audio and the video recordings, These resources can provide everyone with direct or indirect support. In this kind of situation, sometimes we can't all gather together now, which is rather regrettable. A few years ago, I was also at that time an active part of what we called our Bodhi Institute. At that time, it was dissolved, and that was my own decision. Otherwise, it would have been inconvenient in many ways. So now, not only do I have no regrets, I think it's fine. Otherwise, if people were to take advantage of things in the future, it could become troublesome. So today, I want to mention this. I hope everyone understands that this Bodhi Institute no longer exists now, no matter who it is. If anyone organizes group practice in the name of the Bodhi Institute, that is not my intention, and it is not something I organized. I want to make that clear here today as well. If things continue to proceed in this manner, the relevant government departments are also conducting strict investigations that might not be very good for you personally either. There is definitely a certain level of inherent risk, I think, in this situation. Of course, if anyone is willing to organize things on their own, I have no authority to stop such things. From my perspective, this organization was already dissolved 3 years ago. It no longer exists now. Personally, I really don't have any involvement anymore. I'm not just saying this to everyone face to face today and then secretly sending monks or lay practitioners to organize things. There's nothing like that. But if you want to practice together or practice privately as individuals, I have no authority to stop you. because my entire organization has already been dissolved. After it was dissolved, I personally feel quite satisfied with things as they are now. Otherwise, when I eventually die, I would leave behind a truly huge and complex organization, and all kinds of people might take advantage of it in various ways. That's actually happening now. This includes our academy as well as other places. People always say it's arranged by Rinpoche, that Rinpoche assigned this Khenpo or that Khenpo, this teacher or that teacher. But none of these were arranged by me. Everyone should be clear about this. When you are evaluating a teacher, don't follow blindly. Otherwise, when the time comes, even if someone has stayed at the academy, just because this doesn't mean they possess the qualifications of a teacher. There are all kinds of people really in the institute as well. Everyone already knows this, and you should be very clear about it. Just because someone graduated from a university in the past doesn't necessarily mean they were the best teacher at that university. So sometimes everyone should also observe their own individual karmic connections. Otherwise, after our institute was disbanded, all sorts of people will rush in immediately afterwards, and then they start picking up all kinds of different things. I completely understand this too. From a worldly perspective, this is to be expected. When a large company dissolves, its good talent flows to different places, and those who remain also find various jobs for themselves. So in this regard, I have no worries at all, none whatsoever at all. But what I truly want to clearly state here today is that all of you, every single person present here, you should study the Dharma through genuinely reliable channels. Don't let it be interrupted. This is very important. I don't have any organization here, but you should continue studying the Dharma without interruption. Some people have always been studying on their own, while some, from this point on, immediately cut off their precious connection with Buddhism and may even fall into various wrong paths and deviations. Such situations do exist. So today, as we gather here, I also just truly want to say to all of everyone, I hope that in the future, it's not necessary for you to go to a particular temple, nor is it a must to meet a certain guru. It's not essential to meet a guru in person. Meeting a guru in this day and age is not that important. If you do get to meet one, the guru might be here and not there, which is still quite difficult. So now we currently use various convenient methods to truly understand the guru's intentions or the profound teachings that the guru has graciously given to us, and then practice these teachings diligently ourselves. This is extremely, extremely important. Today, I also truly hope that each and every one of you, in your own personal time, can study well on your own. The words of my perfect teacher is truly, in Buddhism, extremely important for every practitioner. If you have already studied it before, you may not have studied thoroughly. So if you study it carefully again, review it once more, it might indeed be of really great help to you. After that, you can begin studying the profound, the way of the bodhisattva. The way of the bodhisattva is vital for Mahayana bodhicitta. It is truly, truly important. Just reading it once before is not enough. Generally speaking, I gave a teaching on it once more than 10 years ago and haven't taught it again since then. Before that, I had taught it many times. So I hope that everyone can listen while also reading some of the previous lecture notes. Wow, there's an event happening nearby today. The noise is quite loud. Can you hear it? So what I mean is this, for example, texts like The Way of the Bodhisattva and Words of My Perfect Teacher, as well as some of the other teachings we've discussed when you attend my class today. If I were to make recommendations to everyone, I would suggest texts like The Way of the Bodhisattva and Words of My Perfect Teacher, including the Surangama Sutra that we've been discussing recently, the Lotus Sutra, the Vimalakirti Sutra, the Diamond Sutra. We've already covered many sutras. And then in private, I seem to have noticed that some people listen to 3 classes a day, some listen to 1 class a day, and they are also very diligent, completing all the studies on their own. There are quite a few people like this as well. So I hope that now in the 21st century, especially in this era of the internet, if, as in this case, everyone has to go through so much hardship to climb the mountain, and it is indeed difficult, then being able to receive some essential teachings at home is extremely important. This is the way to seek the Dharma in this era, and there is also a convenient method for this. This is especially important. Of course, if we are indeed in the bustling city environment, there may be numerous substantial obstacles. Perhaps in the process of practicing, it is not as quiet as it is at the academy, where there is a Buddhist atmosphere and the blessings of Buddhism. It's not quite like that, however. But no matter what the situation, practicing diligently on your own is very important. As for so-called spiritual practice, I'd like to remind everyone here, there is a very significant term in Tibetan Buddhism. This term is quite famous. It is called dry understanding. Now, what does this mean? Essentially, any knowledge that we learn should not just stay at the level of academic study or superficial understanding. If that's the case, then this kind of understanding is especially dry. It lacks the nourishment of bodhicitta and unwavering faith. It's extremely dry, you know? So-called dry actually means it's completely empty and hollow, you see, without any compassion or renunciation. The nourishment of bodhicitta, without its moistening effect, it's merely just an empty, superficial understanding. In this way, it may not solve many problems. Therefore, I sincerely hope that everyone present here will consider how to develop bodhicitta, how to truly cultivate renunciation. This is very important. I want to emphasize this point here. Next, allow me to briefly talk to you about the Guru Yoga by His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche. You practice it every day as well. Our academy also practices it every day, but I don't know how many people are truly able to meditate on it. So I'd like to explain it to everyone a little bit. That way it might be a bit better, right? But is everyone feeling a bit sleepy right now? Is anyone feeling sleepy? If so, I will keep this presentation brief and will not delve into intricate detail, okay? Regardless of whether you are feeling sleepy or not, I can definitely tell I can clearly hear the soft yawns after all, and I can see when your weary eyes are closed, you know. If you're sleepy, I can sense it in your hearts. I've been a teacher giving lectures for many years now. In classroom settings like this, it is definitely quite obvious at a mere glance. So as for the next part of our schedule, I usually plan it for everyone. Originally, it was supposed to be scheduled from exactly 7:30 in the evening to 8:30 in the evening. If it ends at 8:30, that's exactly 1 full hour, then around 8:40 or so. That was the original plan. But if everyone is sleepy, I can just talk for a good 10 minutes. That's fine too. Let's see how things unfold, right? I'll make the decision based on your situation. So today, I really want to take this opportunity to talk to everyone here about the profound practice of Guru Yoga. Why talk about Guru Yoga? The Guru Yoga by His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche. Actually, here at our academy, every single day without fail, right before our classes, we will recite it one time. This time everyone is also practicing it, but for many people, although we recite it, of course, we can easily recite all the words and lines and commit them to memory. But as for truly practicing it, I don't know if everyone has done that. If you haven't practiced it properly, then indeed this is truly important, where everyone really needs to understand how to practice. So regarding this Guru Yoga, I remember that on the 3rd anniversary of His Holiness's parinirvana, which should have been 17 years ago, I gave a teaching on it. After that, I haven't taught it again. Now, for the 20th anniversary of His Holiness's parinirvana, 17 years have already passed since then. And today, I want to once again give everyone a brief explanation of the text itself. Maybe some of our long-term residents, or some people might feel that I've been reciting this for 20 or 30 years, so I already understand it. Maybe you do know how to recite it and understand it, but that doesn't mean you know how to practice the visualization. When it comes to this visualization practice, I wonder if my understanding differs from your own practice. I hope you can compare and reflect on this a little yourself. So in that case, let's first go through the text together. Literally, our Guru Yoga, which is also included in the Larung Daily Chant Book. The Guru Yoga in the Larung Daily Chant Book is different from previous years, especially this year. Of course, some people may have been reciting it for many years. If there are slight changes to a few words, it might cause some trouble. I did think about this at the time, but later I thought this will be the last time I make any changes. I won't make any more changes in this lifetime. So slight adjustments to some words might actually make things better. Does that mean the way you recited it before has no merit? That's not the case. Whether we say Om Mani Padme Hum or Om Mani Padme Hum, it's the same. So sometimes if you recite it with sincere faith, as you have done previously, that should be perfectly fine. Later on, if you make slight corrections, that might be necessary. So, regarding this Guru Yoga practice of ours, it was originally composed by His Holiness. At that time, it was Tenzin Gyatso Rinpoche, who, for the sake of some of our disciples back then, as well as for sentient beings in the future, requested His Holiness to compose a Guru Yoga. At that time, when we were at the South Terrace of Wutai Mountain at our academy, His Holiness's realization naturally flowed forth. At that moment, it was the Venerable Longdo Rinpoche, a distinguished figure from our academy, who recorded this. The names of these two great masters are clearly documented in small print found at the conclusion. So this is also a special kind of entrustment from His Holiness, a unique entrustment, you could say, a special entrustment to the two great disciples, the two Rinpoches. Today, on the 20th anniversary of our Guru's parinirvana, their deep reverence for His Holiness's noble activities, whether it be conferring empowerments, transmitting teachings, or carrying on the lineage, is also quite different from all the others. This is something that absolutely everyone can clearly see. So I truly think that, so today, as we are giving everyone a brief introduction, the specific name of this particular Guru Yoga practice is called Swiftly Bestowing Blessings. Now, regarding the fundamental question of what exactly Guru Yoga truly is, actually, yoga here refers to a method of spiritual connection. Guru, in fact, refers to the dharmakaya guru, sambhogakaya guru, and nirmanakaya guru, or simply, the Guru is the Buddha. It is a practice of this kind. If one wishes to connect with this Buddha through a specific practice method, through a method of spiritual connection, one cultivates and trains. In this way, this Guru Yoga is actually about the unification of our own mind stream with the Guru's compassion and profound wisdom, with no separation between their inherent qualities and ours. By means of such a powerful Vajra speech method, we connect with ourselves. This is what is called Guru Yoga. Then, regarding the name of Guru Yoga, swiftly and bestowing blessings to all beings. As for swiftly bestowing blessings, no matter what kind of person you are, as long as you practice this Guru Yoga within a very short period of time, in the shortest possible time, you will receive all the blessings of the Guru. I think today is also very special for many of our Dharma friends within your own mind streams. I believe you have received the Guru's blessings. From the Journey to the West Memoirs, whether it's everyone's request this time or everyone's motivation, I can truly feel it. Indeed, just the day before yesterday, I mentioned to everyone on the social media platform, respected His Holiness, you have left us for just exactly 20 years now, but your blessings seem to become ever fresher, continually renewed and increasingly vibrant, and our faith in you grows ever stronger, steadily and profoundly stronger and more powerful. Why do I say this? The reason is, if it were an ordinary person in this world after 20 years, if they had passed away for 20 years, now no one would feel anything, including one's parents. If they passed away 20 years ago, there would be no particular feeling. But the Guru is different from everyone. He has been in parinirvana for 20 years, but today the atmosphere at the Academy and the sound of prayers at the Academy, when many people recall the Guru, they are still moved to tears. Why is that? Actually, this is the inconceivable power of blessings. To swiftly receive blessings is truly beyond imagination. So I also think if many of us now can always become truly good practitioners, first, the very first condition is to truly connect with the Guru. You must receive the Guru's blessings transmitted through his mind and the blessings of the Guru's innermost intent. If you do not receive them, even if you are a particularly devout Buddhist today, it is very possible that after a few years you may unfortunately fall back into the deep pit of wrong views and serious misconceptions. This is a very real possibility. So indeed, the most crucial and most reliable way for us is to connect with the Guru and receive the Guru's blessings. This is something we must receive as quickly as possible without delay. If we delay, there is a very high chance that we will quite possibly slip a significant downward, falling into the abyss of samsara, into the depths of the lower realms. Therefore, the Guru's blessings, receiving them swiftly, no matter who we are, as stated in the words of my perfect teacher, is also a preliminary practice and also a main practice method. No matter which Dharma practice we engage in, this Guru Yoga is extremely important, especially for those practicing Dzogchen and for all Tantric practitioners. This Guru Yoga must never be interrupted under any circumstances. It is required in every single session. So this time I have repeatedly reflected on this important matter since so many people have come here enduring all kinds of hardships. What is the most supreme? Which is the most beneficial thing to offer? Since we have stayed in our academy for such a long time, then for this year, what should be the very best final gift we give? Oh, if I transmit a sacred Guru Yoga practice, perhaps you will also receive some unique and powerful blessings of the Guru's enlightened body, speech, and mind. So through this kind of auspicious connection, there will be a resonance between us all. In this way, your practice will not regress, and the work of spreading the Dharma and benefiting beings will also flourish. In terms of realizing the nature of your own mind, there won't be great difficulties. That's truly how I indeed see it. Everyone, please take a good look at this photo of Guru Yoga. There is a particular photo here. Let's examine it first. Then when you engage in your own meditation practice, is this how you tend to visualize first? As we meditate, perhaps we should take a moment to discuss and elaborate on this process as well, and check whether you have visualized in this manner. I'm not sure if it's showing up on the screen. I can't tell either. Let me start with the literal meaning of Guru Yoga. Oh, right, some people can see it. Let me start with the literal meaning of Guru Yoga. I'll explain it to everyone. Actually, when I am visualizing something like this, I won't use words at first, you see. We'll go over the text in a bit. For now, everyone currently should all meditate in this manner. When meditating, generally speaking, when practicing Guru Yoga, you first take refuge and then you recite the bodhicitta prayer. As for us here today, many people may also need to take refuge once again, or some individuals may be taking refuge for the very first time. So in this instance, here I will take refuge and generate the aspiration of bodhicitta together with you. We will undertake this sacred practice together. Everyone should also reflect for a moment. From today, we truly begin to generate the noble bodhicitta. Oh, the ambient noise surrounding me is particularly loud today. I am also feeling a little bit unsettled, and I can see that all of you also appear to be tired and perhaps a bit weary too. Originally, I wanted to give a thorough talk on Guru Yoga today, but the environment here is quite distracting. So next, let's proceed with the refuge and bodhicitta prayers. It is very important that everyone wholeheartedly takes refuge and generates bodhicitta. As for the generating bodhicitta and the commitment of taking refuge, let's all receive them together in this moment. I'll recite here, okay? When everyone visualizes, imagine being in front of all the Buddhas of the 10 directions and 3 times, as well as the Vajraguru. From this moment on, I take refuge in the 3 jewels. From this moment on, I vow to benefit all sentient beings. I solemnly vow never to harm any sentient beings in the future. Generate bodhicitta and take refuge. If you've taken refuge or generated bodhicitta today, on 20th anniversary of Parinirvana of His Holiness, let us all now renew our aspiration together. I will recite it here, and you all follow along with me. This is the verse from the Bodhisattva vows we recite daily. It's the verse from the Bodhisattva precepts. Let's all recite it together now, everyone. When reciting, if your voice is a little bit slightly louder, indeed it can truly help to awaken you from any confusion or uncertainty as well. So I'll read it again, and you guys repeat it after me. Chokchana Jigme Sandip Chondande Tamchet Tang Lama Durjin Zamba Chimbor Nam Dagla Gons Sur Shanchib Nyambo Chigi Var
Sangye namla kyapsum chu. Chudang shangchib senhua yi. Tsokla gang devjin kyapsum chu. Shangchib nyangbom chiji varar. Sangye namla kyapsum chu. Chudang shangchib senhua yi. Tsokla gang devjin kyapsum chu. Shangchib nyambom chiji varar. Sangye namla kyapsum chu. Chudang shangchib senhua yi. Tsokla gang devjin kyapsum chu.
This is really a conversion. Those of you who have not yet converted before, it's already considered a successful conversion in itself. Next, let's all together generate the precious and awakened thought of bodhicitta.
Chirtar ngunjiv dekshag ki. Shangchib tugnov kipa tar. Shangchib senhui flapa la. Tetak ramjin nepa tar. Devjin rola pantun de. Shangchib semno kiki jang. Devjin dana flapa la. Rimba jinda flapper view. Chirtar ngunjiv dekshag ki. Shangchib tugnov kipa tang. Shangchib senhui flapa la. Tetak ramjin nepa tar. Devjin rola pantun de. Shangchib semno kiki jang. Devjin dana flapa la. Rimba jinda flapper view.
Later, when we recite it for the last time, then you have truly received the sacred bodhisattva precepts. I would like to remind you again, those of you who have never generated bodhicitta before can in fact indeed repost today, people who have posted before. Once again, we must develop the bodhicitta in our hearts. During this process, you should think like this: in the vast void before me, all the revered Buddhas and compassionate bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, all the venerable Vajra masters are facing directly towards me. I am positioned right in front of them. Today I solemnly vow, today I formally and sincerely generate bodhicitta. At the very beginning of this occasion, for each and every one of us present here, when did we generate bodhicitta? So you should say, at the time of the 20th anniversary of the parinirvana of His Holiness, I truly generated the Mahayana bodhicitta. Each person should now, in their own heart, have such a particularly crucial and important moment. Next, when we recite it once, when this recitation is finished, everyone will have already received the bodhisattva vows, as well as the refuge vows and the bodhisattva vows again. So now I will recite it one last time. At this very moment, everyone must truly think in their own hearts, I am now truly becoming a bodhisattva, truly generating bodhicitta. Think this way, because some time ago, I also spoke according to the teachings of Bodhisattva Shantideva. If in this lifetime we do not give rise to bodhicitta, it is truly a great pity. When we leave this world, everything else will leave us as well. But if we have generated bodhicitta, even if we become animals, the power of this mind will not be lost. It will not diminish until we attain Buddhahood. So if we do not give rise to bodhicitta, it is especially regrettable to have obtained such a human life. So today everyone must, because our life is very short indeed, it's hard to say when to leave. If one truly generates the Mahayana bodhicitta, from now on life and death are assured. So during the last recitation, everyone should truly generate bodhicitta.
Chirtar ngunjiv dekshag ki. Shangchib tugnov kipa tang. Shangchib senhui flapa la. Tetak ramjin nepa tar. Devjin rola pantun de. Shangchib semno kiki jang. Devjin dana flapa la gang. Rimba jinda flapper view. Okay.
Okay, everyone did pretty well. I will explain the practice of Guru Yoga in detail below. It will take approximately another 20 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes. Everyone, please be very alert during this time. Otherwise, you might miss something important. 20 minutes should be absolutely fine. Usually, when they often have some questions, they don't even let you sleep through the night at all. If you can't hold on for just 20 minutes now, then your meditative concentration is really, really too weak. So I am not asking for too much time either. I am just asking you to listen carefully for 20 minutes. Otherwise, what I might say later on could not be very clear. So next up, let us now talk about His Holiness's Guru Yoga practice. This particular Guru Yoga practice in its essence can indeed be practiced according to the traditional prayer method of the venerable Sutrayana tradition, or through the generation and completion stages of Vajrayana, as well as through the comprehensive Dzogchen approach. There should actually be 3 or even quite 4 different ways to practice it indeed. Today, let's first briefly discuss the common vehicle approach, or in other words, a method of practice that is widely recognized and accepted by everyone. In fact, this approach is also relatively simple to understand. So here, regarding the syllable A, it is a sacred heart mantra of His Holiness, Jigme Phuntsok Rinpoche. His Abela Jangara, in Sanskrit, truly means fearless and perfectly complete. A is a negating word. That's why there is an A at the beginning of His Holiness's name. This is both a calling to His Holiness and His seed mantra. All the phenomena of samsara and nirvana are primordially pure within the experience of pure awareness. All phenomena of samsara and nirvana are all within the originally pure nature of awareness. Then, one's own mind, the truly indestructible, radiant 5-colored wisdom light, the radiance of 5 different colors, which we all know about, blue, white, yellow, green. So within this expansive 5-colored light realm, what exactly do we visualize? The fundamental essence is the noble and revered Manjushri Bodhisattva, just like the usual form of Manjushri Bodhisattva that we are familiar with. And his appearance, the one and only supreme refuge, he is also the sole refuge for all of us. Whether as His Holiness or as your own root guru, either is quite acceptable. This revered figure is known as the precious guru. In reality, his physical form appears very white, clear and bright, with a beautiful and pleasant countenance, wearing the attire of a pandita. A pandita's attire typically includes a pandita hat and a blue inner garment on the body. Such a pandita hat is a key part of their traditional dress, and his outer garments are just like this. Then, regarding the image of the Guru in our current Guru Yoga practice, it appears to resemble the form of Manjushri Bodhisattva, but in fact His Holiness's physical form, the mudra, is the teaching mudra, as everyone knows. In the photo that is used for Guru Yoga, he is displaying the teaching mudra, and what exactly is he holding within his hands? A sword and a scripture case. The sword is to cut through all ignorance, and the scripture case opens wisdom, representing wisdom. Such a scripture case, and the body sits in Vajra posture on top of a moon disk and lotus flower, radiating boundless, brilliant light, liberating countless sentient beings, and then we visualize again that everything is naturally pure and beautifully adorned, the entire place where we reside. The Guru also appears with a very pure and majestic form, the place where we live. Either we visualize it as pure as the pure land of ultimate bliss, or what else do we visualize? We visualize it as the pure land of Guru Padmasambhava, with everything being extremely majestic and pure. This is how we visualize. Then we continuously and devoutly pray. What exactly do we pray for? In the pure realm of the great sacred site, the 5-peaked mountain, from the place in Han region where Manjushri Bodhisattva resides, the supreme realm of Mount Wutai, so here, the blessings of Manjushri Bodhisattva enter the heart of the Guru, and we pray to His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok, our spiritual teacher, asking for the blessings of the mind transmission to grant us realization. In this way, we continuously recite the Guru's prayer, and at the culmination of this practice, we then visualize the Guru transforming in a manner into 5 distinct lights. The 5 lights representing the 5 kinds of wisdom, which gently merge from the very crown of our head, flowing into our heart. And at this moment, We attain the wisdom of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and the fruition of the Guru as the embodiment of all, the fruition of being inseparable from the Guru. At the end, when we conclude the session, we visualize in this way. This is a relatively simple visualization method. This is the simpler and straightforward practice, and it is what we usually do. If you want to practice a bit more deeply, I will also briefly explain it to everyone present, because some people might wonder, His Holiness, I've never even seen him in person. Why am I now praying to His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok? Does this truly mean that there is a great distance between us? I have never even heard his voice in person. So in this case, can I really receive his blessings? These are the kinds of thoughts that arise. If you have such thoughts, then through the methods of Vajrayana practice, this is actually the closest spiritual guide to us. However, generally speaking, if one has not received any formal Vajrayana training, it is difficult to accept this. For example, we have received teachings on the Great Illusory Transformation Net, or have studied the views of the Entering the Way of the Great Vehicle, then it might be much easier for you to accept that. So in this situation, how exactly should we explain it? As for our Guru Yoga practice, I have a slightly different method of practice that I'd like to share with everyone at this point, generally speaking. Vajrayana practices include the generation stage and the completion stage, as well as the great perfection, Dzogchen practices. Today I will mainly discuss a generation and completion stage practice that is close to Dzogchen. At this particular point in time, it is truly necessary to meditate on Guru Yoga. This is a generation and completion stage practice, a stage of cultivation. When practicing this stage, we must possess three essential types of meditative concentration, samadhi, namely the samadhi of suchness, the samadhi of the manifest stage, and the samadhi of the causal stage. This might be a bit difficult to understand, but just listen and you will basically understand it. So what exactly is the samadhi of suchness then? When we visualize any yidam, deity, we first transform all phenomena of samsara and nirvana into emptiness. This is called the samadhi of suchness. Either by using the mantra we use this mantra to transform everything into emptiness, or at the beginning of our Guru Yoga practice here, there is an A syllable. A originally signifies the unborn profound emptiness. So when we truly say all phenomena instantly become utterly emptiness, All dharmas, including ourselves, become emptiness. Everything turns into emptiness. We visualize within this emptiness. Because all phenomena are inherently empty, all sentient beings in the 6 realms have not yet realized this fundamental emptiness, and they suffer greatly and profoundly in samsara. We generate a particularly strong compassion for them. This is called the manifest stage meditative equipoise. Then, on the basis of this strong compassion for them, I want to practice the yidam, deity. By attaining the fruition of the yidam, I can benefit these sentient beings. At this point, we begin to visualize the yidam. What is it called when we visualize ourselves as the yidam? This is called the causal stage meditative equipoise. So generally, when practicing the generation and completion stages of Vajrayana, we must possess 3 meditative equipoise. First, all phenomena become emptiness. Then generate great compassion for sentient beings. Then yourself or others visualized as the yidam. When visualizing the chosen yidam, when we practice Guru Yoga, actually the Guru is not merely this physical body on the outside. In fact, the Guru embodies the dharmakaya Guru, the sambhogakaya Guru, and the nirmanakaya Guru. What is the dharmakaya Guru? It is the emptiness of all phenomena, like space itself. So, in our Guru Yoga practice, all the phenomena of samsara and nirvana are primordially pure within the experience of pure awareness. The meaning of this line is referring to the dharmakaya Guru. The dharmakaya Guru is all phenomena encompassed by samsara and nirvana, which are primordially pure. Sometimes we call emptiness of the essence. Emptiness of the essence is the dharmakaya. This is the dharmakaya Guru. Next, the sambhogakaya Guru. What is the sambhogakaya Guru? It is within this originally pure emptiness. Its luminosity is unceasing. Our own mind, the essence, emptiness, possesses the innate luminosity. And this innate luminosity is precisely the sambhogakaya. As for the sambhogakaya, for example, in the eastern direction there is the Akshobhya Buddha. In the southern direction we find the Ratnasambhava, and in the western direction there is the Amitabha. These are collectively known as the profound 5 dhyani Buddhas. These are the Sambhogakaya Gurus. This Sambhogakaya Guru is the wisdom of the 5 lights, and the wisdom of the 5 lights manifests as the 5 Buddhas. Now in the second line, within its unceasing self-radiance, an expanse of 5-colored wisdom light, this is the sambhogakaya guru. The nature of our mind is emptiness. This is the dharmakaya guru. Its innate quality is luminosity. This is the sambhogakaya guru. And then there is also the nirmanakaya guru. So what is the nirmanakaya guru? In fact, the nirmanakaya guru is empty in essence, luminous by nature, all-pervading in compassion, whether through great compassion or emanations. This is the nirmanakaya guru. Now, the nirmanakaya guru, the third line in our guru yoga practice, in essence, you are the glorious Manju Vajra. The essence of the guru is Manjushri, who possesses all the perfect qualities and marks. On Mount Wutai, we have the 5 emanated forms of Manjushri, the emanated Manjushri. The essence is the emanated Manjushri. So what exactly is this emanated Manjushri? It is one's own mind, and in form you appear as the sole refuge, the wish-fulfilling jewel. Guru's true nature is Manjushri Bodhisattva. He embodies the complete qualities of the dharmakaya, sambhogakaya, and nirmanakaya, the 3 bodies. So, in front of us, sentient beings, when we personally connect with him, in fact, he is our own mind, the wish-fulfilling jewel. Our own mind contains the dharmakaya guru, contains the sambhogakaya guru, contains the nirmanakaya guru. Its essence, the nirmanakaya guru, in appearance, the wish-fulfilling jewel of my own mind, our wish-fulfilling jewel, that is to say His Holiness, but we say it is the wish-fulfilling jewel of the mind. In Buddhism, we often say that one's own mind is the Tathagata. If that's the case, His Holiness has passed away long ago. Don't worry, even though it's been 20 years, the wish-fulfilling jewel of my own mind is something everyone possesses. My mind is the Buddha is the Guru, and the Guru is the wish-fulfilling jewel. This shouldn't be difficult for everyone. You should be able to understand it. Therefore, one's own mind should be regarded as the wish-fulfilling jewel. Now, in terms of its actual manifestation, if it truly appears as an external form, there are some distinct symbolic representations present here. For example, consider here the traditional attire of a learned pandita destroys all demonic forces and represents the innate luminosity that is present. Generally, any Buddha in the nirmanakaya form, externally, there are various forms of emanations, including the form wearing a pandita hat. Then through the teaching mudra, it symbolizes the perfection of abandonment and realization. For the perfection of abandonment, it is represented by a sword. For the perfection of realization, it is represented by a scripture box. If both legs are in the full lotus posture, it truly subdues all 4 maras. As for emitting and gathering immeasurable light, then, it manifests boundless radiance in his appearance, benefiting countless sentient beings. Finally, regarding all is vividly clear, an adornment of pure self-appearance. It means being complete with the 3 bodies, dharmakaya, sambhogakaya, and nirmanakaya. The Guru, who is inseparable from the 3 bodies, actually possesses all forms of adornment. Adornment of the body, adornment of speech, adornment of the mind, and many other excellent qualities. If one truly prays in this way, the 5-peaked mountain mentioned below here does not necessarily have to be 5 actual mountains. It also includes our 5 poisons, transforming into the 5 wisdoms. In the end, one truly manifests oneself, attaining the effortless state of the wish-fulfilling jewel of one's own mind. One directly realizes and perfects the fruition of enlightenment. Roughly, that's how it is. As for the 5 lights at the end, actually, they are a state that is inseparable from the 5 wisdoms. This is called the Guru merging into oneself. One attains the fruition of the Guru within oneself. Of course, due to time constraints today, that's about it. So I think for many of us, maybe according to the introduction method of Tantra, this Guru Yoga is more emotional, because if we truly follow the Tantric Guru, then we are on the right path. He doesn't exist either. It's been 20 years, 30 years. In fact, every moment our dharmakaya master has never left. If the dharmakaya master had never left, the luminous sambhogakaya guru, indistinguishable from him, has also never left. If the dharmakaya and sambhogakaya never left, the nirmanakaya guru, inseparable from him, the guru, wish-fulfilling jewel of our own nature, never left. So if we pray, in a certain sense, we feel that the guru is so far away from us, but in another sense, if we just actually realize a slightly higher state, indeed, actually, not even for an instant has the guru ever left. There is neither separation nor union. If we earnestly pray in this particular way, perhaps the profound Chan teaching that one's own mind is indeed Buddha, this kind of principle might become even clearer to us. Chan Buddhism speaks of illuminating the mind and seeing one's true nature, while in Dzogchen we speak of primordial purity. If we talk about primordial purity, then what we call our own mind is about to attain the realization of primordial purity, which means that our own mind must reach such a state. It is not something to be sought elsewhere. Therefore, I hope that everyone present here, when it comes to outward appearances, prays to the Guru, including the offering to the Guru that we recite at our academy. The prayer is so wonderful and everyone feels the atmosphere, and it is very good to practice together with the monastic community in this way. But from a personal perspective, one should understand that the Guru is actually one's own mind nature, one's own wish-fulfilling jewel of the mind, which has never been separate from us. In many of Saraha's songs of realization, as well as in the works of Nagarjuna Bodhisattva, they pay homage to their own mind, the wish-fulfilling jewel. As for this scriptural reference right now, I can't recall the exact scriptural source, but Vimala Mitra often quoted it in the past. Therefore, by practicing in this way, if we cultivate the Guru, we will draw closer to the Guru's realization, and at the same time, we will truly come to realize that, in fact, the Guru has never been separate from ourselves. We will also come to understand this principle when one turns inward and examines their mind, where the three kayas, dharmakaya, sambhogakaya, and nirmanakaya, are complete, is actually not so difficult to fully realize. So today, I think perhaps this is a rather special occasion. I also hope that when we practice Guru Yoga for ordinary practitioners, whether we take the wish-fulfilling jewel Guru or another Guru, we can practice using our usual Guru Yoga methods. If this is not the case, then one should practice with the view that one's own mind is Buddha. If you practice with this kind of understanding, it is also perfectly suitable within this Guru Yoga. So if we practice in this way, many of the profound teachings of Dzogchen's original purity can also be fully encompassed within this brief Guru Yoga of His Holiness. If we have time in the future, I will transmit it again at that time. I'm concerned that everyone might be tired. But today the discipline in the classroom has been very good. Judging from everyone's expressions and in all aspects, you all seem very confident. So this time, for my part, I actually hadn't planned on this originally, but since everyone has come this time, and after coming, I know it really hasn't been easy for many of you, especially since this is the His Holiness's Dharma Center, which truly carries great blessings. What I just said was truly from my heart. Generally speaking, for an elderly person, for example, my own parents, my mother passed away in 2016. Now my younger brother and sister basically don't seem to cry anymore. When we talk about her, they don't cry at all. But for those of us here, whenever we think of our precious Guru, including myself, I've been seeing him in my dreams these past few days. So perhaps it's this kind of profound blessing from the Guru, and I truly hope that everyone can receive it. If our very own hearts can receive blessings and be transformed, then relying on ourselves for future practice won't be difficult, because now it's very convenient. In the past, if you didn't have a guru, it was difficult to receive teachings. Now we use methods to provide everyone with conveniences. If you don't make an effort yourself, nothing can be done. But if you do put in the effort, you can listen to 100 classes, 200 classes, as many classes as you want. There's no problem at all. So in a way, this is the best era ever. I hope that everyone, whether it's our audio or video resources in all these aspects, because our time is limited now, it's impossible to guide each person in person like this. But many of us, over the past few years, have truly engaged in actual practice, have truly studied and really learned well. And after learning, many behaviors have become different. Otherwise, this era is also quite complicated. As everyone knows, if you are not careful when relying on spiritual teachers, it seems that nowadays some people claim to be the head or leader of the Nyingma school. Some individuals within this esteemed tradition claim to be great living Buddhas, respected Khenpos, or learned great Geshes. Tibetan Buddhism, like any tradition, is not without its complexities. This is true of any social structure as well. In this era, if you truly want to achieve something, it's not about what others say, but about what is taught in the Buddhist scriptures and tantras. Then, how do you seek out a teacher yourself? And finally, how do you receive the teacher's pith instructions? In the end, even if you die, you will have no regrets. For people like us, although our practice may not be very good, but it is truly thanks to the Guru Rinpoche and the great kindness of the great masters of the past that we have still indeed gained a very significant deal of benefit from their teachings. Now, I can say that my mind is content and satisfied, filled with fulfillment. Whether you die or not, samsara is inherently full of suffering. There's nothing to say. We have long since understood this. We also don't have much hope that it will ever be a source of happiness. It's not like what is described in romance novels where everything is always happy and blissful. We have long known this already. Its true nature is that suffering is the essence of life. But we have found meaning within it. The true meaning and value of life is something we will all attain. So, since you have come here this time, I hope that in each of your hearts, it's not just an outward change. Though outwardly you must understand Buddhism, you must truly give rise to bodhicitta. You must have unwavering faith in your spiritual guru. You can't keep changing your mind from one day to the next. If you do that, your spiritual practice will not be good. At the same time, you should be responsible to your family. It's impossible for us to become monastics. That's not realistic. Nowadays, some people, after becoming monastics, saying that being a monastic is very complicated. Then they return to lay life, and they talk to everyone as if they're somehow remarkable for it. But that's not the case. They return to lay life troubled by afflictions. Otherwise, if you initially chose monastic life using your own wisdom, but then later decide to return to lay life, from a certain perspective, this is actually an unwise course of action. We can see clearly that these people, even after becoming monastics, actually haven't truly learned anything substantial. Otherwise, if they had really grasped the essence of the Dharma, they wouldn't say such things. So even in this modern day and age, it's still possible. Whether you possess fame or wealth, prestige or power, if you haven't truly understood the profound teachings of Buddhism, you will still be left with many regrets. But thanks to the kindness of our spiritual teachers, we have already obtained some of the essential instructions in this regard. With this, we can be confident about our future lives. So this is also a very rare opportunity for us. It's truly not easy for everyone to all be here together like this. I also really feel that whether you just come here once or just participate here once, it's not very easy. But it is also very meaningful. It should be meaningful. I also genuinely rejoice in all of your merit. Other than that, there is not much more to say. Although I am not present in person, I am silently making my aspirations and praying deeply for each and every one of you all. I hope that each of you will diligently practice the sacred Dharma and receive the blessings of the Guru. Then, this Dharma lineage of the Guru should also be passed down in the future. You should talk more about it to those around you, including your friends and family, including our memoirs of Journey to the West, even though it's a memory from 30 years ago, sometimes. Perhaps it's also thanks to the Guru's blessings. Whether it's in English or in Tibetan or even in Chinese, it should be found in different corners of the world. Even in this rather small place, it has indeed played a significant, albeit small, role. I am also very much delighted and especially truly happy. Today it is a special karmic connection for all of us present here. At the same time, I would like to express my sincere thanks again to all our staff and volunteers. Everyone has been working from morning till night. In the morning, in order to maintain discipline, I had to show up very early. It was extremely cold outside as well. But no matter what, we have received the warm blessings amidst the cold. This is possibly the greatest blessing we have ever received at this moment. All right, I won't ramble on anymore. People tend to get more talkative as they get older. That's just a characteristic. Finally, I wish everyone auspiciousness. May you receive the Guru's mind-to-mind transmission blessings, and may all be well.
Sonuman daye tamche zubanya tomna nibe jana panshe jang jirga nanche ralon cheba zhebum solen zhuwa zhuru shio
bandang gara badna sadardang bandang gara badna sadardang bandang gara badna sadardang